What's going on, Colts Nation? I appreciate you joining me for another video where in this one we're going to be talking a little bit about kickers. I'm sure a lot of you that are tuning in have already heard the news or seen it at some point. But if you haven't, there is news surrounding the kickers on the Colts. For some people, surprising news. For others, like myself, writing was on the wall. But of course, Matt Gay being released. And if you enjoy the content, enjoy the updates, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you continue to get notified when we drop more content. But as we go on in this one, just talking about why this happened, right, looking at the situation. And of course, last year didn't go as planned. His first year with us, I thought he was really good. I thought he did a good job in between 40 and 49. Through his career has generally been a problem, and it was during the first year with us. And then, of course, this past year, the issue became 50 plus. He figured out how to hit everything pretty much up to 50. I thought he did a good job up to 50, but overall, just not good enough. When you look at his overall numbers from 50 plus for us, he was 11 for 22, 50%. And I know he dealt with an injury last year, and I wonder how much is on the injury, how much is on him. Because if you look at what he did with the Rams, like what he did with the Rams is why he got so much money when he came here, right? At the time he signed, it was a biggest kicker contract of all time, where he ended up, or when he was with the Rams, he was 92.5% field goal percentage and 80% from 50 plus yards. Interesting. I've completely forget that he started his career with Tampa, and throughout his rookie year, he was 27 to 35, pretty inconsistent throughout. But then with the Rams, of course, ended up playing 7 games in 2020, became the full-time kicker, and from there, you look his first 3 years with the Rams, he only missed 2 kicks each of those years, and that was actually the total length that he was with the Rams. He was with the Rams for 3 seasons, and with us for the next 2, and then he missed 8 field goals last year, or I'm sorry, in 2023, and then 6 field goals last year. And overall, his field goal percentage actually went up, which is surprising. I thought he was better in 2023, sitting here looking at the numbers. So I guess in 2023 also, from 50 plus didn't work out. I do think he tried some 60-yarders, though. I do think the 50 plus could be adjusted or could be looked at a little further, at least in 2023. But 2024 obviously just had issues, which was interesting. 40 to 49 was actually perfect. And actually, as I sit here and look at the numbers, that was all he missed last year was 50 plus. Now, it's interesting to look at Spencer Shrader, because in the stats that we see from, he played 1 game for the Colts. He didn't attempt any field goals, 3 for 3 on extra points though, and then ends up with the Jets, ends up with Kansas City, and overall ends up going 5 for 5, but never kicks a field goal from 50 plus. But we did see him in the preseason last year being able to hit the long field goals, which at the time Matt Gay was struggling with. That's why I was so surprised when we let him get away. I thought practice squad made sense, but he got dropped from the practice squad and then picked up and then dropped and then picked up, and then the Jets end up with him. And I just thought, I thought we messed up. I thought we messed up letting him get away. We were somehow able to get him back in the building. Seems like Chris Ballard, his front office, they recognized the error of their ways. The coaching staff, they said, we're going to hold players accountable. This is what this is going to be. And Matt Gay, with what he did last year, just wasn't good enough. And overall, through 2 years, again, missing, half of the 50-yard field goals that he's taken. You get Spencer Shrader, 6'2", 201, more of a slender build, but has a big leg. We saw that he has a big leg. So that's enticing, and that's something that hopefully this is our kicker of the future. Hopefully we're able to lock him up long term. But as of right now, we have Spencer Shrader on a 2-year contract worth $2.51 million. That includes was $350,000 signing bonus and $750,000 guaranteed. So an average of $1.255 million, which I get. This is what I'm talking about. Writing on the wall. You just look at his contract. They're not going to give a 2-year contract and pay a guy that much money to come in and maybe end up on the practice squad. That's just not going to happen. The writing was on the wall, and hopefully, a lot of things for kickers comes down to mental. I've heard a lot of kickers talk about it in the past about how mental it is, and how sometimes, just like a pitcher in baseball, sometimes you just can't get out of your mental, and those misses are because you're overcorrecting, or you're not as focused because you're worried about the more negative outcome, right? Like that will happen, and so. Hopefully, whatever happens with Matt Gay, of course, hopefully he's able to lock back in, go somewhere else, find some success. But for us, I feel pretty good about Spencer Shrader now getting rid of Matt Gay. He ends up, for us, he signed a 4-year, $22.5 million contract, but letting him go. We saved $2.75 million in cap space this season, and owe him $4 million in dead cap. Next year, dead cap is $2 million, but we have an extra 4.75 that we didn't previously have. And you look at our current number, our updated number, and this is according to Spotrac, it is 24,361,400. So opening up some space. Of course, the Colts think that this is an adequate amount of space to be able to open up, to be able to do what they need to do. Of course, you got to pay rookies, but it'll be interesting. Samson Ebicom being an option. We have talked about this, about how if you drop Samson, you get a certain amount of money. Well, a draft is coming up. Maybe they're cooking. By the time draft comes, good chance Trey Hendrickson, the Bengals will still want a first round pick, which is nuts. Let's just throw that's nuts. The Bengals, I don't know what they're doing. They think the way they're doing business is crazy. Like the way they're doing business is crazy. They're living in a fantasy land, is what they're doing. And because they're not getting a first round pick for him, but he's also already said like he's just not going to play this year. He's not worried about it. He just won't play this year. And so I think draft day we could possibly see a trade for Trey Hendrickson going to the Colts, and a byproduct of something like that happening would probably be, okay, we're getting Trey, drop Samson now. And there's no information out there that says that that's anything that's going to take place. That is just my internal thought. This is, as I went through the roster, and was like, okay, well, if they're still trying to make cap savings at this point, then what are they trying to position themselves for? What could possibly be on their mind? And again, Braden restructures his contract. We don't drop him, but he restructures his contract, opens up space. That was a candidate for somebody to be able to open up some cap space. And now we're in a position, hey, maybe Samson is a guy that ends up getting dropped, open up the cap space for a guy like Trey Hendrickson. And it'll be interesting. Will that happen? What news is going to come out? Again, the latest that I've heard about Trey Hendrickson is that the Bengals want a first round pick, and I think that is outrageous. I think they're crazy if they think that they're actually going to get that. And on draft day, I think that price will have been adjusted. And something happened. Might even be on the second day of the draft instead of that first round, since I don't expect anybody to trade a first round pick for Trey Hendrickson. So don't expect it to happen on the first night. And I think it could happen on the second night. But whatever the case, whatever happens for the Colts, I will let you guys know as soon as I possibly can. Going to have plenty more content as we continue to go through the offseason. So if you enjoy the content, make sure you hit that like button. And of course, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you continue to get notified anytime we drop any more content on this channel. Of course, appreciate you stopping by for another video. As always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and go Colts.